Can y'all believe it? The football season is just 15 days away, and I could not be more excited. So on today's show, I'm going to try to get you guys even more juiced up by giving you 5 breakout candidates for Tennessee football on offense in 2025. Before we do that, though, like today's video if you are as excited as I am. Vol football is back in just a little bit over 2 weeks. I know we won't be in Neyland Stadium on August 30th. I know we got to start in Mercedes-Benz, but trust me, we'll be back in Neyland soon. And if you are pumped for Vol football to be back in full swing, do me one big favor, show me by liking today's video. We're going to start off with wide receiver Mike Matthews. Sophomore wide receiver Mike Matthews, that is, former 5-star, a guy who unfortunately almost left the team, entered the transfer portal in December, came back, and let me just say, praise the Lord that he came back. Because when you look at this wide receiver room, he's the best guy that this team has in that room. I'm excited about Chris Brazell. I think Braylon Staley shows promise. The two freshmen, Travis Smith Jr. and Ra Jackson, I think are going to be exciting. But, to me, Mike Matthews has all the potential in the world. And I think when he announced his commitment and signed his letter of intent with the Tennessee Volunteers, I feel like we were all kind of waiting for his sophomore season. We knew his freshman year was going to be good, but we also figured it was going to be kind of one of those wade into the whole sport of college football thing. And also last year, there was a lot of really good veteran receivers on this team. Now, I think he should have gotten the ball more than he did, but regardless, we all knew it wasn't going to be his breakout year as a freshman. 7 catches, 90 yards, 12.9 yards per catch, and 2 touchdowns. And now we get to this year where I feel like he's really going to flash on the scene. Because he's approached the offseason in all of the right ways, right? Once he decided to get out of that transfer portal, come back to Tennessee, he's been all Vols for the last 8 months. He's looking good in training camp. He looked good in spring ball. He's been in all the offseason workouts. This is the year that everybody across the country knows the name of Mike Matthews. Did you guys know that Tennessee Football Talk is the fastest growing UT channel on YouTube? Did you know that? We've added over 2,000 subscribers in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We are cooking, and now it's time for you to join us. So if you have not yet, join us today by subscribing and hitting that big red sub button. Number 2, Miles Kitselman, tight end, transfer from Alabama, and let me tell you, that's probably the worst decision that he's ever made, but I'm happy that he's back on the right side of that state border because 22 catches, 301 yards, 13.7 yards per catch last year. It was a fine year for Miles Kitselman, but that's why I feel like this year is going to have a bit of a step up, okay? Do not be surprised one bit if Kitselman leads this team in receptions by the end of this season, okay? Because I just have a feeling that he's going to be a go-to guy for most likely Joey Aguilar, really anybody that's going to have the reins of this offense at that quarterback position because he's so consistent and also because he's just proven to be a reliable guy and be proven to be able to be that go-to guy. And what I love this year is this team has such great depth in the tight end position with Kitselman, with Ethan Davis. And so because of that, I expect a ton of 12 personnel in 2025. If you don't know what 12 personnel is, looks like this. When 1 quarterback, that's where the 1 comes. 2 tight ends, that's where the 2 comes. And 12 personnel. Anytime there are 2 tight ends on the field and 1 running back, that's 12. 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, that's 22. Regardless, I think there's going to be a lot of times because of that tight end depth that there's 2 tight ends on the field. Because for the first time, maybe ever at Tennessee, Josh Heupel has 2 tight ends that are prolific. 2 tight ends that are athletic. 2 tight ends that are consistent. And I also just love the leader that Miles Kitselman has proven to be over the last year. Who do you think leads this team in receiving yards? Okay, I've got a feeling it's either going to be Kitts or Mike Matthews, one of the 2 guys I've talked about already. But if you think it's somebody different, let me know in the comment section down below. Let's go to the running back position now. Remember, we're only talking offensive players on this episode. How about Star Thomas? A guy who came in from Duke, and I feel like that transfer portal edition kind of flew a little bit under the radar. If you look at his last 3 seasons, and before his 2022 season at New Mexico State, he played 2 years of JUCO ball. Last year was a phenomenal year for him. 213 carries, 871 yards, 7 touchdowns. But the 2 years prior at New Mexico State, he was honestly a part of a really good team. If you remember, that 2023 team actually beat Auburn on the road in Jordan-Hare Stadium. But Josh Heupel has just been so impressed with what he's been able to do to this team and how he's grown since the spring. He says just his body, his movement, explosiveness, his physicality with the ball and without the ball, some of the details and the fundamentals that it takes, pass protection, special teams as well. He's done an elite job from the end of spring ball to where we are practice 8. Now, I feel like we all can agree that the running back position this year is most likely going to be by committee. You're going to see a lot of Star. You're going to see a lot of Deshawn. You're going to see a lot of Peyton. But I feel like Star, no pun intended, is going to be the star of that group, okay? I just have a feeling like he's not going to be a Dylan Sampson SEC Player of the Year type, but I really believe that behind this offensive line and in this Josh Heupel offense, most importantly, he's going to absolutely pop off, okay? I just asked this for the receivers. Who do you think does it for the running backs? Name the player who leads this team in rushing yards at the end of the season down below in the comment section. Let's talk pass catchers again. How about Travis Smith Jr., the freshman wide receiver from Atlanta, Georgia? If you look back at this last year's recruiting class, he was a 4-star, 148th nationally ranked player, 6'3", 210 pounds. He's a big guy. His senior year in high school in 2024, 64 catches, 1,312 yards, 13 touchdowns. What I love about him is that he's a very, very versatile type of receiver, and the fact that he can be a big possession guy, but also when he gets the ball in his hands, like, he's absolutely electric with the football. And that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for Travis. I feel like it's been a long time that, like, Tennessee's had a wide receiver come in here as a freshman who we know is a big possession wide receiver, who's a 6'3", 200-something pound guy, right? And I think it's good for him, for Travis, going into his freshman year, knowing he's not going to be the number one option. I think that's only going to help. I think it's going to help his development. I think it's going to help his statistics as well, because other teams, they're going to game plan around Travis Smith, okay? They're going to say, okay, take away Mike Matthews, take away Miles Kitselman in the passing game. Travis Smith's going to be like their third, maybe even fourth guy that they have to worry about outside of Chris Brazell. The thing about Travis, too, is it's also great to know he's an awesome dude. It's great to know that Josh Heupel is recruiting men of high character. $10,000 to the Wesley House Community Center out of his NIL. The guy's a stud. Can't wait to see him in orange and white. Let's wrap this thing up with another running back. I could not decide whether I wanted Peyton Lewis or DeSean Bishop on this list. And I went with DeSean Bishop because I really, really liked what I saw from Bishop late. And it felt like the later we got in the season, the more and more these coaches trusted him to be a legitimate option at the running back position, okay? I mean, he got last year 455 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6.1 yards every single time he touched the ball. Like, that's a pretty solid year for a freshman. That's better than Dylan Sampson did his freshman year. And the funny thing about those two is, like, in my opinion, they're comparable backs. DeSean Bishop, 5'10", 200 pounds. Dylan Sampson, 5'8", 200 pounds. Both of them were track athletes in high school. Both of them were incredibly fast. They have great long speed. What I like about them both, they also have great contact balance as well. Like, there's so many things to like about both those guys, and those two guys are so comparable in so many different ways. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and get us 1,400 yards in 2025, but I feel like next year, maybe the season after that, he could have easily over 1,000-yard season because I think he's got all the tools. Shout him out. Name a breakout offensive player for the Vols in the comment section. I just gave you 5. Need 1 from you, and do it down below. Appreciate everybody for watching today's episode. My name's Joey Petersen. Really, really lucky I get to do this for you guys on a daily basis. To lock me in on social media, all you got to do is go to Joey Petersen 8 on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the comment section as well. Get me on Twitter, get me on IG, and make sure you got subscribed right here on the channel.